Good morning, everybody. Welcome once again to BTL Bass Talk Live, where we're going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Matthew, got to tell you right off the bat, there are not too many occupations in this world that you can get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars and be wrong. Can you name one of those jobs?
College football analyst.
Okay, can you name another one?
Oklahoma weatherman.
Oh my gosh, dude. How bad did they get it? I mean, we came on the show Thursday. I'm talking about a blizzard.
It's gorgeous.
It's going to roll through here on Saturday
Absolutely
and Friday. Gorgeous. And we got what? A smattering of rain, and that was it. And then they come on the show on the weather news on Saturday and Sunday and go, well, you know what? We got that one wrong.
At least they admitted it.
I was looking so forward to a little bit of snow. Now, people in North Carolina right now,
yeah, they're screwed.
They're sick of it.
Yeah.
when they've got the front loaders and the bulldozers and the snow plows, they're getting hammered. But nothing here in Oklahoma. And now I look at the extended forecast, and dude, it looks like you're going to be able to fish any Sunday jackpot that you want from now until maybe June.
Break out the A-rigs. So last week you opened the show and you said we had some big news, and I had no idea what it was. I couldn't remember.
Well, I don't even remember.
It was the announcement of the first MLF. Well, there's some more big news that went down over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, by the way,
news.
hang on one second. By the way, we're going to have Joe Opager on with FLW's Director of Media Communications. He is a kind of a regular here on BTL, so we're going to get his take on a lot of stuff that's going over on.
A lot. There's a list I was counting.
Yeah.
There's 8 main things that we're having him on to talk about, including something that you, I guess, requested that I reach out to FLW to get clarification on last week, which was
about whether or not they can watch what's taking place on Toho the week prior to their event. Are they allowed to do that? Can they get as much?
We'll get an answer.
We'll get an answer,
I actually
hopefully.
prepped him with that question, unlike all of our other guests who have, now what are we going to talk about? I don't know. Just roll with it, dude.
Yeah.
So what was the other big news?
From this weekend?
Yeah. Something is now set.
Oh, the Classic.
The Classic field.
Yeah.
Absolute beatdown in the team championship. I mean, this dude wore a hat that said on him. His partner relinquished the spot to him, and he smashed everyone by like 25 pounds. He came in the fish-off with like 25 and 31 pounds. He beat everyone by 24 pounds. And then in his article, I love this. He goes, those guys already in the Classic don't know who I am right now, but come March, I want to show them what I can do.
That's a pretty good quote.
It is a good quote.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're going to have confidence after you jacked 31 by yourself, 25 by yourself, and had 3 of the top 4 biggest bags out of the 200-boat field.
Yeah.
Guys from Kentucky, seems like he can fish. Would that not be ironic if in the 2019 Classic that is all about the field and who's in and who's out and who's not fishing it anymore, the last guy in through the team championship in December from Kentucky goes out and wins the Classic?
Yeah. Might be the greatest.
Not even in the Elite Series field.
It might be the greatest Cinderella story. It would be.
I don't know. When we come out with our odds, he might not be as long shot as the other team championship winners has been.
What was his quote again?
It was a good quote. It was a good quote.
I thought you still had it.
He said, these guys, or those guys, and then in parentheses, already in the Classic, don't know who I am right now, Robertson said. But come March, I want to show him what I can do. He's not saying he's going to beat him, but there's a little bit
I like that quote.
There's a little bit of I can hang with it.
All right. So
and he's wearing that hat in just bold letters. It just says on him with the EM.
Yeah.
I mean, he smashed everyone. He had 2-day total in the fish off. 2 days, 57-9, and beat his closest competitor by 24 pounds.
Yeah, he did. He crushed it. All right, so what is the field size now for the Classic? What was the final? What was the final number?
50-something.
Okay, that's fine. That's good enough. All right, so we have a list. We're going to have Joe on here just in a few minutes, live via Skype. A couple of things I want to touch on. I had a lot of windshield time over the past 3-4 days going back and forth to a basketball tournament. So I caught up on a little bit of reading. I also caught up on something, and I know we're going to focus on FLW, but dude, I want to mention this. We will probably get into it also on Thursday because do you have that guest booked for Thursday? Is that a done deal?
Done deal.
Okay, we're going to have Bobby Lane on, correct, on Thursday?
Correct.
I did a lot of thinking about MLF and the BBT, and I'm going to mention that here in a minute. But first, the first thing I want to mention, the latest edition of, what is that, Matthew? Can you read that?
Well, it's everybody's favorite magazine, Mark. That's Bowler's Journal. I mean,
right.
Obviously, you're already talking about old news. Everybody's probably read that thing cover to cover already.
I know, but on the cover of Bowler's Journal, it says Go Time. And the PBA just inked a brand new deal with Fox Sports. Big time. More money. They actually have guaranteed money now. Bigger money, more airtime, and they're also going to go into a partnership to showcase some special events. Fascinating story and a lot of comparisons with what Major League Fishing is trying to do, but with some major differences.
Is
so
that
I want to get into
online,
that.
or do you have to go out to your favorite bowling
No, you have to be a
establishment
PBA
and
member.
Pick up the Bowler's Journal. Where can people read this?
I don't know if it's online or not. I don't. I'll find out.
Do you have to be a good bowler to be a PBA member?
Yeah, you have to. There's like
if
minimum.
I wanted to be if I wanted to get that,
You have to earn your tour card.
Could I do it? Do you think?
No. If you wanted to become a professional bowler.
But you're not a professional bowler. But
Yeah,
you
I am.
were at one point.
No, I still have.
Let me see it.
Let's see here.
What, you just get it renewed?
No.
Oh, you carry it with you. You
Yeah.
just slide that to the cops too to realize they're dealing with a
No,
professional
there it is
athlete.
right there.
Established 1958, Mark A. Jeffries,
Yeah.
Professional Bowlers Association. PBA membership benefits include practice center discounts, admission to national tournaments except TV dates. And then there's an email and stuff. This
Yeah.
is your official PBA member card.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
So, like, if I wanted to, how long would it take me? I mean, we've had guys who went and fished the Opens and made the Elite Series and have fished for like 3 years.
I know. Quite honestly, I don't know what the minimum requirements are
Or do you
anymore.
have to
I
bowl
haven't
in
even
elite
looked.
in a certified
You have to
league
average.
and
You have to average a certain.
So only professional
200.
bowlers get that?
I
You
think
can't
so.
go in and buy that?
No, I don't think-
that magazine's way too nice just for PBA members.
I
That
don't
would be
think-
like having a Bassmaster magazine that's just for Elite Series guys.
I haven't seen Bassmaster on the magazine rack.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, you can go in and find it.
I don't know. I
Or is
could
it
be
more
wrong. I
equivalent
don't
to like
know.
a Bass Times? It's got to be more equivalent to like a Bass Times.
Probably.
That's like a glossy mag. That costs a lot of money to
Oh yeah, it's big
produce.
time. But they have a lot of advertising in there too. Anyway, I want to get into that because what they're doing with Fox is there's a lot of similarity with what Major League Fishing is doing or trying to do. Now, here's the other thing. This is the other thing that bugged me about what Major League Fishing is doing. What is the term, Matthew? And I'm not going to say it. You're going to have to say it for me.
Growing the sport?
Yeah, I don't want to say that anymore.
That's what you're thinking
Thank
of,
you.
right?
Yeah, thank you for saying that, though, for me. Here's
Like
the deal.
a damn chia pet. You just water it, give it
No,
some
no,
nutrients.
no. Listen. Here is the deal. The way that they are formatting everything, only 40 guys are fishing each day, maximum. Agreed?
Agreed.
Now, part of the reason that you and I both agree on, I think, part of the reason why they don't have a schedule out is because they are doing everything they can to try and generate revenue from the venues that they're trying to go to. That's one of the reasons. Agreed?
Yes.
They want to get money from the chambers or
And
from
rightfully so.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs to make
FLW
money.
does it. BASS does it.
So that's what they're trying
It's
to
a
do.
standard protocol.
They're obviously on the late train getting this done because of budgets, and we've mentioned this throughout
And that's been
our
stated.
show.
You read
Yeah.
some articles. You can,
I have figured out, and I'm going back to something that is very similar to this right here.
he's holding up the Bowler's Journal for our
Okay, listen.
iTunes listeners.
If you truly want to grow this thing and expose more people to Major League Fishing, are they not shutting out the field over the next 3 years, basically? Are they shutting out any opportunity to anybody else in the fishing world to become a participant in the BPT? Those guys signed 3-year contracts, right?
Based on what they have distributed, that field will probably remain fairly consistent. Now, I'm sure nothing will stay the same for 3 years. There'll be guys who will drop. They'll pick up guys just because of personal reasons or something. But
medical red shirts.
Yes,
whatever.
no, they're locked in for 3 years. If you want to fish it and everything's in good standing, you're there for the next 3 years.
So you're telling me for 3 years, nobody's going to get the opportunity if you have a college angler, a high school angler that might be able, that might be 18. Okay, by the time that he turns 20, he's not going to be able to chase that dream of being part of Major League Fishing because they have this 3-year locked in.
In theory, yes, you are.
In theory, I have the solution. I have the solution of which they can do this and they can actually generate revenue. And if guys are out there willing to pony up the money and do this,
is this another
they can
manifesto idea?
No. This is very simple and easy to do. Dude, you go to the PTQ format, the Pro Tour qualifier. You give up 5 spots in each round. And when I say round, you have guys going through round 1, 40 anglers. You have guys going through round 2, 40 anglers. Where's the first event? The first event is on Lake Tahoe, right? Okay, have the PTQ at the Harris Chain or some other lake that's close to Tahoe.
What people are understanding is what you're doing is it's opening it up to other professionals or amateurs that have reached a specific level.
Here's the deal. You have to meet a certain criteria.
Once you do that, you can get into the qualifier. If you finish in the top 5, you get to fish in that one-time only BPT. Your points do not count towards the Angler of the Year standings, but you can earn money in it.
That is correct.
That gives you a platform to fish at that level, win that money, and generate a storyline, kind of make a name for yourself.
Do the simple math.
And it generates revenue for the BPT, which now has no entry fees because everybody who buys into the qualifier to try to finish in the top 5, their money goes into the BPT pot for that tournament.
Exactly. So even if you split it, all right, you pay $2,000. I'm just going to keep simple numbers here. You pay $2,000 to fish the PTQ. If you make the tournament, you got to pay another $2,000.
So you're fishing the PTQ to get to the PBT.
Yeah, that's a lot of P's. Anyway, all right. So let's say you only have 50 guys do it. 50 guys trying to get 10 spots.
Right.
Okay, do the simple math there.
I think
Matthew.
I understand what you're saying. I get it.
Is that going to take away from it?
Yeah, it's just another element. They're trying to get through the BPT and get that all dialed in. I think that could be done.
That's fine. I'm not saying.
Here's what I think. I think it'd be better for the Elite Series. Think about how much more money they could add to the pot if you had that for before each Elite Series.
The only reason I say,
and Bass Nation members could try.
The only reason I say the Major League Fishing route is because, dude, everybody's getting shut out for 3 years theoretically.
No, you're right, but it's just the one time. It's not like
you have the opens. You have the opens though.
No, I mean there's right now as it is. There's no path to Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour.
So you have this, just.
But I also understand if you're trying to grow the sport, you want to have recognizable names in it. And if they're constantly rotating from the start of this thing, then you don't have a time to get a vested interest in that angler. If you're Angler A and Angler A gets knocked out after the first year,
you're still going to have those 80 core guys. What this does is this dangles the carrot and gives somebody an opportunity that if they meet the criteria and meet the qualifications and you got $4 or $5 grand, you could dip your toe in the pool.
And then there's more money to the anglers than the other 80.
I mean, am I really off base on this?
I mean, it's worked in bowling. Has it not?
Yes.
How many of those qualifiers when you were trying to bowl did you... No, I'm asking this seriously. Like, how many guys would try to get into a PBT?
Over 100.
And you guys just show up on like the day before it all starts. You pay your money.
I remember I bowled in a PTQ at Showboat Lanes in Las Vegas. Not 60s? Even there anymore.
The 60s?
No, in the 80s.
Oh, sorry.
Not even there anymore. All right.
Is this old Vegas?
No, it's new. It was close to the Strip. Not too far from the Strip. There were 180 guys vying for 25 spots.
And what was the entry fee?
$200.
And so all that $200 goes into the
prize fund.
Prize fund for like the Norm Dukes, the Walter Ray.
Yeah, and then if you qualified, if you were one of the 25 guys, no, you had to pay.
Oh, then you had to pay your entry fee into the big leagues.
Yeah.
Did you make it?
I bowled in. How many? Like 15 PTQs and made probably 10 of them.
Really?
Yeah, but I only cashed a check in an event, an actual event after the PTQ one time.
So is that kind of like, is bowling from Oklahoma kind of like fishing? Like you either cash every time or you never cash? Is that how the bowlers from Oklahoma are?
No. No, there have been some really good bowlers out of Oklahoma over the years, though. But anyway, I truly believe that it's a revenue.
That's a good idea.
It's a revenue generating idea. It opens it up if you meet the criteria.
Next year. I don't think 19. I think
oh,
you got to get through 19.
No, dude. They don't even have rules done yet.
I got you.
All right.
We do have to get to Joe eventually. He got in the studio.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I received an email. There was a really good story in the Little Rock newspaper that I want to touch base on Thursday about the economic impact of what went down in Hot Springs with the FLW
Oh, yeah,
Cup.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I know it would have been nice, and I should have been proactive and thought of it with Joe.
Maybe I'm sure he knows about it.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
his
see.
Job. His job is media for FLW.
We'll
I'm
see
sure
if he
he's
knows
aware
about
of the economic impact that it made.
Yeah. So, man, the weather's nice now. I know those guys in Oklahoma, they were wishing they were the weather person in San Diego, California. You know why? Sunny, 72. Every single day. Low of 58. All right, we're going to come back with FLW's voice. Media, what's his official title? Media Communications Director.
Guy. He's not the voice. That's Chris Jones.
Well, I wasn't talking about play-by-play or weigh-in or anything like that. From a communication standpoint.
Yes.
He is the man.
Distributing the information. It seems about every other day there is some announcement from FLW in the inbox.
Yeah.
So they're getting ready to start an exciting season, full field, 170. And let's hope the interview goes better than Joe's Vikings performance last night.
Hey, by the way, we got to get you one of those Billy Sims jackets. Did you see that during the Heisman present?
No, really? I seriously have one. I was in my buddy's wedding.
Oh, you need to wear that one
I was in
day.
my buddy's wedding. It's a white dress shirt, and he's in the Army, and I guess they have these things called party shirts where when you're wearing your suit jacket, it looks like you're all business, and you take it off in the sleeves and the back. I have a giant OU logo on the back, and the sleeves are all Boomer Sooner. But when you have your suit jacket on, it looks like you're ready to go to work. Then you take it off, boom.
Man, he was styling and profiling.
We can wear that. I'll wear that in one day.
All right.
You have to wear a jacket with it for the full effect, though.
True. All right, coming back with Joe. Everybody stay tuned.
Sleek new design with easy control file. The clearest images underwater with uncompromising range. Live mapping from the touchscreen. View notifications, video, even Google Maps on screen. And for the first time ever, real-time view of fish movements with live sight sonar. HDS Live. New from Lowrance.
Jacob Wheeler and Tommy Biffle have a lot in common.
Flat bill.
The perfect shape.
You gotta love some white tackle.
I know I have a spinning rod.
I love my hammer crawl.
Biffle bug.
Rigged
on a hardhead.
Well, they could be twins. Bifflebug, Hammer Crawl, Hardhead, from Gene LaRue.
Let me help you, man.
Let me help that hat.
Whoa.
There you go. I already look better.
Pros depend on hydraulic jack plates to get the best out of their boats. Do what they do. Demand Atlas performance. Atlas gets you from the bottom to the top in less than 8 seconds, even with the big 4-strokes. And when you gotta turn right around and get that heavy load back up in rough water, Atlas's innovative design and American-made components will get you there with confidence.
I'm at Depot. Just look for yourself. There's an Atlas jack plate on just about every professional's boat.
The Atlas hydraulic jack plate. You can depend on it.
My rods look different because they are different. Every rod is built by the pros and for the pros. When you pick up a white Duckett fishing rod, you're getting a cutting-edge rod, one that's truly pro-driven, with the actions you need for every bait category you fish. I put my name on it. It's my promise to build you a great rod you can count on.
Duckett Fishing, Micro Magic, Macro Magic, or White Ice.
Try them. They work.
Man, I am so excited to be joining the AFCO Pro staff. They got some really cool, innovative products to help you have a more enjoyable, comfortable day while you're out there on the water. Really stylish, great functional clothing. You're gonna love it. The thing I'm most excited about though is AFCO has pledged to donate 10% of their total profits back to supporting the conservation of our fisheries. And I am all about supporting a company that's about supporting conservation so that we can enjoy our bass fishing for a long time. Check us out, AFCO.
When I talk about SUNLINE, I think of one word: confidence.
SUNLINE FX2 is what I use for all of my frogging and flipping.
S61 braid, which braid plays a big part in fishing line.
Shooter, I'm going to use in those close quarter deals like flipping and pitching.
One of my favorite techniques in fishing the tournament trail is to fish offshore ledges.
We have taken the questions out of the equation.
Take my word for it. It works. It works, dude.
All right, we are back, kicking off the week. And I'm ragging on the weather people pretty hard this week, Matthew. I'm sorry. I was so mad.
Canceled a bunch of they canceled every tournament on the message board.
It wasn't that bad. Even Sunday, it was beautiful on Sunday. Anyway, I just don't get it. All right, man. We are ready to talk FLW. Our good friend Joe Opager is going to join us here just in a few seconds here, if I can get him queued up. And Matthew, you got the list ready?
Yeah, I have the list ready. It's a bigger list than normal to start out a FLW Tour season. I think we're seeing a trickle-down effect across the board. Everybody's kind of tweaking and adding stuff and some additions, but some really cool stuff going on from all platforms, from the junior division all the way up through the FLW Tour, and some opportunities for college anglers in there, and a whole bunch of new faces. So I said, hey, we'll get you on. I wanted to get that clarity on what the FLW, and I was like, well, we also need to talk about Varsity Bass, and also want to talk about the sponsors, and also want to talk about the new Marshall. It's like, screw it, just come on.
All right, Joe, how are you, man?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Nice and no snow. It's not Minnesota-like.
You need to get off the weather. You've mentioned the weather like 6 times. People are listening and
I was upset we did not get snow.
Why are you pissed? You can't drive your new Mustang in the snow.
No, man. I have a vehicle to drive in the snow. Thank you very much. I wanted to build a snowman. I really wanted to build a snowman.
Come on up.
All right, Joe. All kinds of stuff going on. And Matthew and I thought it'd be a great idea to have you on. I know he's got a massive list. But let's just say, is this probably one of the most anticipated seasons for FLW in the history of the league?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that. Obviously, it's been a tumultuous offseason for the entire industry. And it seems like it's been extremely long. It's been dang near 4 months since we wrapped up the Forest Wood Cup in August. And honestly, let's just get this thing started. I'm ready to go fishing again.
Well, obviously, one of the biggest announcements, it was kind of the first, I guess, kind of shockwave announcement in the industry before everything went down, was that you guys were going to a Marshall system starting in this year. That is now a month away from actually happening, so kind of fill everyone in on the Marshall program.
Yeah, the upcoming FLW Tour event at Sam Rayburn. will be the first tour event in history without co-anglers. So it's something we're really pumped about. Our anglers are really pumped about, and we're excited to see how it all shakes out. Our marshal registration's been going now for a few months, and there's still a few spots left open, but it's going well. We're going to have enough marshals for everybody, so that's the good news. And then, of course, we've got a really cool marshal program available. I mean, some of these marshals are going to win money just throughout the week, depending on who they get paired with and how their pros end up doing. And then, of course, at the end of the season, we're giving away a brand new Ranger boat to one lucky marshal. For every day of completion, you get one entry into this boat giveaway. So your odds are not terrible, and especially the more events that you do. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it all shakes out.
You sell that so well. Your odds are not terrible.
Well, you figure.
No, I know it's a pretty good.
Marshals per event. 7 events, so it's going to be about a 1 in 1,000 shot if you do it one time. The more you do it, the better your chances get. So who knows?
Let's keep on the marshal train there, and I want to talk a little bit about what I'm going to call the electronic marshal. The new rule that every FLW boat has to have a functioning camera in it that is running at all times.
Yes.
Talk about that. That's kind of sent some shockwaves through the industry also. And then you have people say, oh, there's no way they'll do it with logistically be able to happen. And other guys are saying this is the greatest thing ever as far as moving the sport forward, being able to have all of that footage for that guy who doesn't have a camera, comes out of nowhere and has 25 pounds. Now we can see how that goes down. Just kind of talk about how that process is going, how you guys are going to train the anglers to be able to use it. I mean, I know some guys who haven't turned a laptop on in years. They've never done it. Now you're expecting them to use a camera. So talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, we're still ironing out the details. That's, of course, a new rule for this year. But, like you mentioned, a specific point of view camera is going to be required on each FLW Tour boat this season. And it's going to help in a variety of ways. One, it's going to help, keep with no longer having a co-angler in the boat and, having to rely on marshals who, maybe not be super familiar with the rules as they should be, or, it's just kind of a way to maintain integrity and keep everybody honest to make sure everything's on the up and up. It's also a great way to increase coverage and exposure for these guys, but because it's now putting 170 cameras out on the water to see, some things that we didn't get the opportunity to see before. If guys are going to catch a 10-pounder and he's not on the live feed, but we've now still got footage of it to share with, online, on our television shows, and on from there. So it's going to have a lot of benefit from the guys. It's certainly going to have some growing pains and some kinks that we're going to have to work through. We've got a great coverage team that'll be on site throughout the event. They're going to be helping guys get their cameras rigged. We're going to have plenty of backup cameras and backup batteries for when stuff goes faulty, and it does happen. And we expect that we're going to have some kinks to work through, but overall, once we do get through it, it's going to be extremely positive for everybody.
Real quick, are you guys supplying the cameras?
Well, that was one of the questions I had.
No, we won't be supplying the cameras. However, we will have some backups available, for guys that have issues with their own. And we certainly, have anybody that needs help picking out a camera or getting the right accessories and everything. We're just an email away. And, Bill Taylor, our tournament director, has reached out to all these guys, explaining all of this and letting them know that, we'll having some discussions about it at the pre-tournament meeting prior to that first event.
So did a deal get cut with a camera company to where you might be able to get sponsorship out of it if they are the official camera for all 170 guys?
Sure. Well, GoPro has actually been a sponsor of FLW for the past few years. As far as a specific camera going to each of the boats, TBD. Still getting worked on at this point.
Okay. Interesting.
The exclusive camera fees.
Well, the other question I have is there a possibility that you may have to go to instant replay to get a ruling?
That's interesting. I don't know if it would be instant replay. It would be more along the lines of
delayed replay.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm saying is, let's say Angler A says Angler A did this, and then you go to Angler B and say you're being protested for this. You pull their footage, you go through their footage, and you say, "Yep, he was right. He did that. He ran that no wake zone. That fish was hooked outside the mouth." Something. I mean, is that something that FLW is willing to go to the tape that evening, where you're all kind of huddled in the decision room, the officials, and then make a decision based on that GoPro or whatever camera their choice footage?
I mean, that's we've done that in the past already.
Yeah.
We saw a couple years ago, Jason Johnson, before he turned pro, he was a co-angler of the year, won it at Kentucky Lake. Had been out fishing with Cody Meyer that night. That GoPro video got posted to Facebook, and we realized, hey, there's a rule violation. Jason made a cast from the front of the boat while Cody didn't have a line in. That was against the rules. He got DQ'd for that day, and Braxton Setzer ended up taking home the Co-Angler of the Year title. We actually had to take it away from Jason. So, I mean, we've seen it happen in the past. And it's certainly, something that will be addressed going forth. But it's just another one of the benefits of having those cameras in the water. There were a couple, incidents that happened on the water last year where there were a couple boating accidents and collisions, and it was just nice to have that footage and be able to review and say, it was accidental, or so and so was at fault, or it's just going to be a way to address all of that by having those cameras there.
All right, we'll stick with the cameras for another smooth transition to varsity bass, which is something that FLW has been promoting and something that I wish was around when I was in college.
Yeah, we're currently accepting applications for our new YouTube reality-based show. Of course, Circuit Breaker kind of went the way of the dodo bird about a year ago. And much to everybody's dismay, we still, hear quite a bit about that, and we know, people are extremely disappointed, but we hope you guys give Varsity Bass a chance once we get that up and rolling as well. It's going to follow different college teams or anglers or high school teams and anglers throughout a tournament, and it's going to be our coverage team's going to go meet them before the event, days before the event, check out their home life, see what's going on in school, and just get the whole circuit breaker experience for these young anglers as they lead up to a tournament. And it's going to be, we're expecting to see everything that we did in circuit breaker, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. And we're going to get some great interaction between, these college clubs, and give some great exposure to our younger anglers as well. So we're currently accepting submissions. I know we've gotten a few in the hopper already, so something to kind of keep your eyes peeled for coming in 2019.
Well, you just if you're a college angler, go to FLW website and link and all that on the college page.
Yeah, it's actually still right up on the homepage, and all the details are there. There's a link to where you can go submit your video. Basically, you're just going to film a YouTube video and submit the link to us. Leave the YouTube video listed as unlisted. Don't make it public, and send it on in, and our producers will take a look and be in touch if they like what they see.
All right, we're going to get all the video stuff, all the live stuff out of the way. Mark, hit him with the question.
Well, now, one of the questions that came up in an earlier show that we did last week or a couple of weeks ago, Joe, was, are the FLW competitors going to be allowed to view what takes place on the same lake that they are participating on during their event prior to the event?
Sure. Obviously, I watched the show, so I'm familiar with the conversation you guys had. And obviously, this is a new situation for us this year, especially, it's mainly been FLW and Bass over the past few years, and we don't really, although sometimes we run tournaments at the same time, I don't think I've ever had one with the same venue. So it's going to be a unique circumstance this year with, the BPT opening on Toho right before the second tour event of our season there. But that being said, the BPT's feed that they're going to be streaming is public and available to all. And, FLW Tour rules state that any information that is public is legal. So to answer your question, yes, they will be able to watch the streams and, follow along all the coverage there. And it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Now, that being said, the majority of tour pros will be traveling at that time down to Lake Toho to get there to practice on that first day. So we kind of expect there'll be follow along from the car, whether they're listening to the stream or they've got a driver and they're watching it or whatever. But because that information is public and available to all, it maintains the level playing field, and that's what's most important. So as of this year, yes, FLW Tour pros can watch the live streams, and it'll be interesting to see how it does affect, or if it affects, the outcome at Toho in February.
I think it'll be interesting because of, we talked to only 40 anglers on that, and then 20, and then it's not like they're going to be just smoking the same area. So I think the FLW weights will be heavier because a lot of those guys are going to go in with a clue, in my opinion, as to what's going on there, and they'll already be able to rule out, some stuff that they're like, well, that guy sucked in the VPT, I'm going to avoid that lake or that type of stuff. So I think the weights will be heavier in FLW as a result. So just my opinion. Who knows if that's right or not.
It's hard to compare as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're bringing in our best 5, whereas they're trying to catch as many as they can. So, how I guess as media guys, how do you plan to compare the weights? Is it going to be?
We don't know. That's what we said. I said that in an earlier show. I said it's a unique perspective because you're going to get to watch a BPT, then you're going to get to watch FLW live, and right there in the first week of the year, you're going to get to say, I like this, I like this, I like that about the two. So for fans of fishing, it's going to be a cool 13 days of professional action in Florida.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about the field. There are a ton of new faces this year. When the field came out, obviously some big familiar faces. A lot of anglers. We just had John Cox on last week, who opted to come back. Thrift is back, and but man, there's a lot of guys that you're got to do a little YouTube or a little Facebook research on to kind of figure out where they come from this year, which is new and exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, with the new organization starting up, and some anglers choosing to move on to the BPT, and some anglers moving to make the move to Bassmasters, and some choosing to stay with FLW. It's something that we've kind of dealt with over the past few years, and we've kind of adopted the mindset that the boat is bigger than the sailor. The show goes on. It's unfortunate. We've lost a lot of great anglers over the years, but that being said, we're creating new ones. If you take a look at kind of the recent generation of bass angling stars, everybody gets their start at FLW. So we're proud to foster that environment. We're never going to fault a guy for leaving. It is what it is. We'll always be here, and if a guy decides he wants to come back, he can certainly, as we work towards our qualifying system. Now he's got to get in the Costas and work his way back onto the tour. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But 170 guys this year, 34 rookies. But a lot of those rookies are great sticks from the Costa series, from the BFL series, and that's how everybody's kind of started out that way. So it'd be interesting to see how it shakes out. It's going to be a very competitive Rookie of the Year race, that's for sure. But we've still got the FLW Tour stalwarts that we're extremely happy to have, and thrilled that they stuck around. Guys like David Dudley, Brian Thrift, Scott Martin, John Cox. These are guys that are certainly in the conversation for best angler in the world, and we're proud that they're fishing the FLW Tour.
Joe, Frank in Michigan and a couple other people want to know, what's the status of fantasy fishing?
Well, good question, Frank. Fantasy fishing will be on a hiatus. It will not be happening this year. We're going over a complete website revamp. You may start us noticing some changes on the front end coming up here over the next week or two. And then throughout the season, we're revamping. We've heard the complaints, obviously, about our website. We felt your frustration, and we're working on it. With that being said, fantasy fishing kind of got put in the back burner at the moment, and then with the earlier start to the season, just wasn't going to be ready to go. So we'll be on a hiatus, and we'll see what happens in 2020.
Wow, there are a lot of changes. And then there's also some additions, too. You guys have also had, especially early in the year, additions to the FLW Tour. Was it with the White River Marine Group, and a bunch of stuff coming on for the upcoming season. And then, what was it, Polaris taking a bigger role in it. So just kind of run through all that stuff, too, then.
Sure. Well, the big news for us was obviously the Polaris deal. They are now an equity partner of FLW. They've been a sponsor for the past 3 years, I believe, and obviously liked what they saw in the partnership and wanted to expand it. So they've had meetings with our marketing team quite extensively over the past few months, and ended up becoming an equity partner, and their presence is going to be very enhanced at FLW Tour events. We're going to see a lot more of their ATVs, and then they're getting their feet wet in the boating market as well. So they've got some great pontoon options available, which are going to be showing off. We're going to have a Polaris fan tune at select tour events. I know the Forest Wood Cup will be one of them, but there will be others. But we're going to be taking fans out onto the water during the actual tournament, and they're going to be able to go around and watch the pros compete, and get wined and dined by the Polaris crew, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's going to be a lot of great stuff for the fans, and then also the anglers as well. We're still working out the kinks there, but there's going to be possible ATV prizes. We're talking possibly Rookie of the Year packages, kind of stuff like that. That's going to be added by Polaris. So we're real excited about that. Of course, White River Marine Group, we expanded. We're going to have Triton and Triton boats and Nitro boats as a new sponsor this year, which is very unique for us. We've been Ranger boats from the start, and Ranger is still our main partner and the featured boat of FLW. But now, obviously, with White River Marine purchasing Ranger and all that shakeup, now Nitro and Triton are going to be around as well. So it's going to be an interesting year on tour with some new sponsors, but it's how it seems to roll every year.
I've got it, Mark.
What's that?
The Polaris.
What's that?
And now they can have roving, on-location live FLW reporters that just roll up on a Polaris jet ski. You can just buzz right by the angler, get an update on it, and then shoot off to the next guy. Just put him in a wetsuit, and now your on-location coverage on the water, you just buzz him with the jet ski.
I kind of like it.
Get pretty cold in January, February, but hey, it's not me, so I'm game.
Hey, Joe, on the instant feedback, Derek in North Carolina wants to know, how are you going to address coverage from a information standpoint that you already have archived on the FLW site on those anglers that have left FLW?
Just the same way that we have. Like I said, we've been kind of doing this now for the past 5 years. Every year, it seems another group of anglers tends to leave for the Elite Series or now the MLF, and it's same as always. It's our history. It's certainly not something we're going to shy away from or hide. We'll promote the anglers and do our best to we're not going to have articles on our website up about maybe just for example Justin Atkins, who obviously left and went over to MLF. We probably won't have Justin Atkins' top 5 favorite spinnerbaits go articles on.
Good point. Good point.
I'm with you.
Justin Atkins is a former Forest Wood Cup champion. He had a great career while he was here with FLW. Certainly something we're very proud of. So Justin Atkins is certainly still around, and someone we wish the best for. We're not hiding away from him at all. So I guess I hope that answers your question. I'm not sure what we'll do with the coverage.
Absolutely.
It's there. But we'll promote the anglers that are fishing with FLW, and our history was that it is what it is.
All right. I also want to ask you about the recent story that appeared in the Little Rock paper, I believe. I think it was Arkansas Business Weekly or whatever it was. Said that the Cup had a $24 million impact on the city. That's a substantial amount, Joe. Where does that rank as far as some of the feedback that you've gotten over the years about the economic impact for a community?
Sure. I believe... I haven't seen the specific records, but I think that's the second most that I've ever heard from the Forest Wood Cup. I think 2014 or 2015 when we were at Lake Murray in Columbia, South Carolina, it was just over 26. I think it was 26.1 or something like that. But yeah, 24.4 million last year in Hot Springs, something we're extremely proud of. And that article ran in Arkansas Business. It was actually, we were chosen as a champion of economic impact by Sports Destination Management magazine. So, it was just a great event. It drew more than 66,000 fans 2 hot springs last year, and it's certainly, one of the reasons we're going back this year. Obviously, we are going to be fishing at Lake Hamilton this year, but everything else will remain the same in hot springs. Great arena at Banco ZK Arena, great convention center that can host the expo. Everything that we look for in a tournament venue is in Hot Springs. So one of the reasons we keep going back, and yeah, something we're extremely proud of, and I'm glad you happened to catch that article.
What else? I've covered like 9 things.
That's it on the list? That's it, Matthew?
I think we got it. We got through everything. Oh, I mean, just the question. I think he's kind of already answered it, though. But those anglers that are fishing MLF this year, you guys are still letting them fish. I mean, there's no rules prohibiting them from fishing the FLW Costas, qualifying for the Forest Wood Cup or the Costa Championship through that venue, is there?
Oh, absolutely not. No. No hard feelings at all. Like I said, those guys are former FLW Tour pros, but, FLW is just a tournament organization. We hold no grudges. Please come fish our Costas. Yeah, we would love to have you. We would love to have you in the Forest Wood Cup, and we'll see what happens.
All right. If you would listen to some of the earlier shows we might have had, you could compare that to another organization that some interesting things could be coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
What else?
What do you want for Christmas, Joe?
What do I want for Christmas? A vacation to Hawaii. I don't know.
I thought you just got back from vacation.
Well,
didn't you just get back?
Really vacation. I did get married 2 months ago down in the Keys, and it was fantastic. However, I was down there. It was a destination wedding with about 30 family members, and everybody's constantly relying on me to tell them what to do and where to go and where to be. And it wasn't much of a vacation. It was a great time, something I'll remember for the rest of my life. But definitely looking forward to a honeymoon at some point.
You didn't really sell the destination vacation wedding very well there, Joe.
No, it was fantastic. The best week of my life. It truly was. But it was very stressful.
So what's the honeymoon then?
Well, we haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm trying to talk her into Ireland, just because I've never been there. I always wanted to go, but somewhere cool. I don't know. Maybe a beach. Cool. Maybe go to land a beach somewhere. Who knows?
Are there beaches in Ireland? I thought they were like foggy moors. I thought that was what Ireland was known for.
It's basically 2 different extremes. Ireland, I don't envision that as much of a beach destination, but it does look cool, and I could hang out in some pubs and listen to some good music. That sounds like a lot of fun too. But that sounds like more of my alley.
That's good stuff.
I'm probably going to end up on a beach.
That's good stuff. All right, man. You're welcome anytime here, Joe. Appreciate all the support.
Thanks, guys.
And really looking forward to the 2019 season, man.
Hey, me too as well. I know you guys are going to 3 shows starting in 2019, so
yeah,
looking forward to that increasing as a part of my week. And obviously, I'm always here whenever you guys need a guest or someone to fill in. Give me a holler.
Cool. All right, man. Have a safe holiday. Enjoy the holiday season, man.
Hey, thanks, guys. Take care.
Right, see you. All right, there you have it, Joe Opager.
That was information packed, Mark.
Yeah. Derek in North Carolina says, what about the new feature? What is he talking about?
The new feature.
Yeah, he just says, what about the new feature?
I don't know.
I don't know what he's talking. Did you mention something about a new feature?
I don't know. Maybe it was
that
the varsity bass thing?
Yeah. That's a new feature.
Yeah. And so the cameras are a new feature.
Yeah.
There's so many ways that you can go with that camera, and I've talked to, and we got a couple seconds to talk about this, but I've talked to some other, some anglers who are fishing the FLW Tour. Some that are camera savvy, some that aren't, some that already film stuff, some that don't. And there's really a lot of dynamics that go into play here that Joe didn't get into. It's not really his deal. But, who owns that footage then? That footage comes off the water. Obviously, FLW has rights to it. Are you going to run a camera for them? Or are you going to run a camera for you? What if you do stuff at the end of every day? Does FLW archive that at the end of every day? Or do you archive that? Do you have to save every single day that you have in case FLW needs to go back? What if you don't catch them and there were no protests and you don't do anything with your footage anyway? anyway? Where does that footage live? Is there some sort of database? How are these anglers going to manage it? I mean, I know there's some entrepreneurial people that are out there that are working with FLW Tour guys as far as, hey, I could be at the dock, I could take your footage, I could do stuff with it.
I don't know.
It's really interesting. And then obviously you're gonna show the best of. You're gonna show the guys who are catching. You're gonna show. You remember it was in Florida last year. The guy catches a fish in a mat. He has to jump in the water, keeps his hand on the boat, flips it in. You know, you get all these great catches. But I mean, you're also going to be capturing a lot of the heartbreak. How many guys out of 170 guys? And that there's a lot more opportunity for stuff to go down with 170.
Yeah.
And I've thought way too much about this. But
well, you're right though. You're right.
So what is the highlight of every ESPN show on Friday? And you're gonna
the
love
not
it.
So top 10.
Exactly. You go. Think about all the not top 10s that you're going to have on camera now.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. When you're on the FLW Tour, you go out and catch 0 or 1 fish. There's going to be some not top 10 moments in your day, and now everybody's going to be able to see it.
Dude, I stick to that channel until the not so top 10 rolls through because I want to see crash and burn.
If these are professional anglers doing what they do when they are highlighted at their highest. What is the difference except what the connotation that we associate with it? They're really nothing. They're both occurrences.
Yeah.
Whether you break your rod, fall into the console, miss a fish, and the hook ends up in your hand and you're hopping around on the front deck, or whether everything goes flawlessly, you jack an 8-pounder, you boat flip it and hoot and holler. Those are occurrences that happen in life, right?
Yeah.
So you're assuming a positive connotation to one, a negative connotation to the other, but they're both occurrences. If you show the positive, you got to show the negative to even it out.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of opportunities there to be, you know.
No, I agree,
the
man.
botch of the week brought to you by.
Wow. Yeah, they're going to have a ton of stuff, man.
The highlights that they'll be able to have
Yeah.
on it, the intros that they'll be able to have. The TV show is really going to benefit from this too, because you saw Bassmaster, you've seen FLW incorporate these high HD cameras into their shows now. Well, now you'll be able to incorporate it from the first, the second, the third, and the fourth day instead of, hey, this guy caught him for 2 days in Florida, and now we're going to watch him hang on with 13 pounds.
You know, one thing I should have asked, and maybe you can look at this on the website, do they have their rules posted on the website anywhere?
I'm not sure.
Even I'm talking about the 2019 rules for the guys. Who knows? I'm curious as to whether or not they have to put that camera in a specific location. In other words, it has to be positioned left center of the right console in case guys are fishing with dual consoles. Is there a requirement that you have to have it on the, I don't know, front by the trolling motor?
I thought we asked them
I don't
everything.
know.
They're also kind of redoing the payout. It said based on that press release because of 170, and the payout was based on 150. And then I also forgot to ask him about what the deal is with, you know, Carl Jochimson, David Dudley, guys who were doing live. I would assume just based on their kind of live stream friendly format there that those guys will still be able to stream their competition days as the event's taking place on YouTube Live.
I don't know. Ton of footage, man. How'd you like to be the editor that has to go through all that footage?
Here, let me pull it out. So a guy is going to start his camera before takeoff, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's say an 8-hour day, and then by the time it's done, that's 9 hours, right? 9 times 170. That's every day is 1,500 hours of footage. Let's multiply that by 2. So the full field for each event is going to have 3,000 hours of footage. Then you add another 240 for day 3.
That's
and
a lot.
Another
of footage.
80 for the final day. So you're looking at about over 3,500 hours of HD GoPro footage from each event. So let's just do 3,500 times 7 regular season events. You're looking at roughly 25,000 hours. If I've done that correctly, it sounds right, doesn't it?
That's a lot. 25,000
hours of GoPro footage that is all going to be recorded from every angler.
Yeah, that's a lot.
25,000 hours. I try to go back and do a best of BTL, and we do 2 hours a week, and it's a struggle.
Yeah. Man. It's going to be interesting. I wonder how many guys will take advantage of the opportunity to watch what's taking place at Toho.
Joe says if you want to call me back, you can.
No, it's all right.
No, we're good. A lot. And then I also wonder, are they going to have martial rules where, like, hey, you got to sit down while he's fishing? So if they have, the camera in the back of the boat, will they have the marshals utilizing the cameras too?
Yeah.
I'm sure they will. We'll find all that as it goes on. It's good to have a little bit of mystery and some stuff.
All right, good stuff though, man. I know people are in the anxious stage. They're ready for this stuff to get started, and it's going to be here before we know it.
Guess what I'm going to use this afternoon, Mark?
Camera?
No.
What? Oh, your Chick-fil-A card?
That a listener of the show
sounds really good.
My
man.
$10 Chick-fil-A. I'm getting the spicy deluxe.
Nice.
With a lemonade. Extra ketchup for the waffle fries.
All planned out. All planned out. All right, man. You fishing the jackpot on Sunday? You going to try and fish it on Sunday?
Possibly.
I mean, it's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
It's my last comment about the weather.
Gotta go pick the boat up today.
It's my last comment. I'm sorry. I was very weather structured.
I don't understand why, though, because it doesn't matter to anybody but people in the Oklahoma area.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you want to hear someone rant about the weather in Massachusetts?
No. So I apologize, everybody out there.
Fine. I will give you props, though.
What's that?
We had gone the entire show, and you're a very proud man. You never text me anymore, but you did text me a picture of a trophy and some very happy high schoolers.
It had been a while.
I gotta hand it. I will close the show out since Mark was not. I don't know why. I thought you were going to lead the show off with it. Mark's high school team won. You won a basketball. That's what the trophy was it not?
Yeah. It was actually the head coach's 200th win, too. So it was
200th win. You're the assistant coach of the team. What tournament was it?
It was the Plainview Classic down in Ardmore.
Now, do you run the offense, the defense?
Kind of both. I do the inbound.
Are you the get back guy?
No, I do the slobs and blobs. You know what that is?
No.
Sideline out of bounds and baseline out of bounds.
Oh, those plays
slobs
to get it back
and blobs,
in. Okay,
yeah.
I gotcha. Well, congratulations. The basketball trophy looked very nice, and I could tell you were proud.
We were the 6th seed. I mean, 6 out of 8.
Coming from the back of the field to take the title, so everyone's gonna have a Merry Christmas on the basketball team.
All right, man. Bobby Lane on Thursday. Everybody, join us same time. We will be back on Thursday. Everybody, be safe.